The first ETF to track crypto and various companies that are over $1 trillion has launched a new $1 trillion asset. This is wild. We have Sweden entering the Bitcoin treasury space. We have not only that, we have World WFI making another big decision about the Trump family's wealth, and it involves crypto again. We also have Spain's second largest bank to enter the Bitcoin and treasury and crypto world. It's going to be crazy. There's so many things to talk about. There's also an update going on from yesterday's story of the seizure of like $600 billion of Bitcoin from that Chinese thief. The UK, who ended up taking that money, is now going to be thinking about keeping the money rather than distributing it out to all the people they stole the Bitcoin from. So much more happening coming at you from Wolf Bitcoin. Please repost the stream if you haven't already. We're going to jump right into the news. I'm going to share screen right now. If you haven't already, please do repost the stream. It does help a ton, like I said. But here we go. First story, the $1 trillion ETF club. This is nuts. All right. I mean, what is this? I saw this first from Bitcoin News. Defiance ETFs launches a new fund tracking the Beta $1 trillion club index, right? And so people are already tracking this stuff. And this offers exposure to companies and assets with a market cap of $1 trillion or more. Now, this includes Bitcoin, but it's not Bitcoin. It's through the iShares. This is the BlackRock, their IBIT. Their IBIT, right? And so that's that's Bitcoin exposure. It's not Bitcoin. However, it also includes, a lot of the, Max 7, like NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, and there's going to be a few others that are going to be added as well. But this is a really interesting asset class because if this really catches heat, this is going to be a much desired place to get to, I guess you could say, for a lot of companies. And I think this could be a pretty interesting ETF to follow. And you guys know I've fallen in love with ETFs in the last few months. I just think they're fascinating to pair up similar assets and put them in together into a group. I think it's really cool. Next story, we have Sweden entering the Bitcoin reserve race, and their lawmakers proposed the country to investigate a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And so countries are starting to wake up, guys. This is from Cointelegraph. You go to their story. The proposal came from two Swedish Democrats, actually, and a party that's a key player in backing the Swedish ruling coalition and its minority government. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about what goes on in Sweden's government. I don't even know what it means when they say they're democratic because it's been so skewed this year in America that I don't really know what that means. I get it if you say you're liberal. I get it if you say you're conservative, but I don't exactly know sometimes when they say democratic or Republican. This is just a proposal. This came out on Wednesday. It's by these two gentlemen. And they said the United States is already in the process of creating a reserve. Sweden should be participating in this digital arms race and growing. They just want to be part of it. I think a lot of people are starting to say this. This is exactly the game theory that everyone talks about. Quite literally playing out in front of you guys. Sweden looking at the United States and saying, we got to get some of that. Yeah, that's game theory in action, folks. It's going to happen. It's happening. There's no such thing as is it happening. It's happening right now. It is a crazy time to be alive. Then we have World WFI, Zach Witkoff, he's the co-founder. This is, of course, backed by the Trump family. They're going to be tokenizing the Trump family real estate portfolio. This includes Trump Tower in Dubai. Now, okay, this is actually a cool story, right? Because I spoke with Corey Flipstein. He's the CEO co-founder of Swan. And I asked him about the RBA space. I said, what do you think about it? And he was like, most of them are scams. I was like, sure. And he's like, no, really. And I was like, okay, what about like in the RWAs? He was like, yeah, most of the things you would buy that are tokenized assets aren't worth being bought. And I was like, okay, that's a really interesting way to put that, actually, because I hadn't thought about it like that. So just because you're buying a tokenized hotel or whatever doesn't mean you're going to be sharing in the profits. His basic point was that anyone looking to tokenize their stuff right now is doing it out of desperation. He was making the pitch that basically, like, they're in a sailor situation from 2020. They didn't have another option, so they went with it. This situation is not the same. This situation is one where there is demand, there is money, and there is volume, and there's a lot of desire and demand to get in here. People want to work with Trump, right? Because it's not just Donald Trump. We got Eric Trump, we have Donald Trump Jr., and we have Barron Trump, all three of which have made so much money in the crypto industry. It's disgusting. Eric Trump, for me, is the best. I think he gets it. He's the purest. I think it's Barron right after that, apparently. If the guy made $80 million in this last bull run, if that's reported from Forbes, I believe that's true. He made $80 million. Donald Trump Jr. also is killing it. I just feel like maybe it's just an inkling. I'm not sure what I think about Donald Trump Jr. yet. But, anyways, Let's jump over. We have Spain's second bank, BVA, to allow retail customers to trade Bitcoin and crypto. Guys, again, game theory in action here. BVA teams with SGXFX to launch retail crypto trading in Europe. And so this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's not about like conspiracy, game theory. It's about when another country sees other countries winning and an asset that's going up. And then when they peel back the layers, they go, oh, the asset's actually worth something. The asset actually is kind of cool. What is this thing? We got to have that. We got to be part of this. Okay, what are they using crypto for? Oh, they're going to do this and the other. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, let's do that. Let's follow. Like that, I mean, of course that happens, right? If you're looking at the top people, if you're a skateboarder and all the top skateboarders across the park are doing something and you're doing it differently and you suck, obviously you're going to start doing what the good players are doing. That is game theory played out. That is evolution. That is human psychology. It does happen. There's a reason it's called game theory. It plays out. So anyways, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the last top, this kind of thing was happening every 6 seconds. Another company offering crypto. You can now trade crypto. You can buy whatever. Like that happens, of course, at the top. The thing is that feels different is that what are you going to do? Is the dollar going to outpace the Bitcoin? Like, is the dollar going to outpace the S&P? Is the dollar going to outpace gold? I just don't believe that happens. It sounds absurd to me, actually, when I think about that, because that's what it means. If Bitcoin bleeds to the dollar, that means the dollar is beating Bitcoin. I guess, yeah. I mean, I know we can have ups and downs, but that's a bizarro concept to me. I mean, to have any asset against the dollar lose makes no sense. Anyways, here's the final story here. I don't have the full breakdown, so you guys will have to go to Bitcoin News probably to get more information. This is the only post I was able to find in the last few minutes because I just saw this a few seconds ago. But this is from yesterday that the big old Chinese lady who was arrested for stealing like $600 billion of Bitcoin. And apparently UK is looking to kind of keep this Bitcoin a little bit, and kind of not distribute it to the victims. I don't know how much of this is true. This is just kind of an announcement post. I imagine there'll be more updates coming out, but that was rather interesting. And I guess this happens in Bitcoin land with the worst people. With Bitcoin being decentralized, you can't fully control everything. So they're going to have people doing the worst stuff, and that's part of the game. Anyways, guys, that is basically all I have for you today. The goal is to give you back your time on the coffee break, not take it, just give you all the top stories, just a few minutes to get you ready for the day. We're going to jump into the first market talk space. We're going to get together with the traders actually and talk about the market. Bitcoin is absolutely ripping right now. By the way, I didn't even said it yet, but they're absolutely ripping, and such a wild time to be alive, honestly. And look, if you want to start trading, we have one of the coolest platforms. It's Ostium. We have a code WolfB. If you want to start trading crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they have Solana on there. They're going to have more assets listed as well. I know a few that I can't say yet, but I'm very excited. We also have the stocks, the Max 7, the S&P, Forex. It's all in one place, all up to 100x leverage. And you can try that out on Ostium. Excellent trading platform. Again, if you're in the description on YouTube, you can click that. And if you're on X, go to the tweet down below. Highly recommend it. One of the coolest platforms you're going to see. Excellent stuff. Use code WolfB, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.